Hi guys, SOCOM Gaming here and welcome to the ultimate comparison video between the MP7 and the M4A1, two of the most popular weapons in Call of Duty Warzone. Today I will show you everything there is to know about these weapons. We will compare their stats and we will reveal a very big surprise. Together we will try to find out which weapon is better so that you can maximize your chances to get that victory in Warzone. On the left hand side, in the blue corner, we have the MP7. The Heckler & Koch MP7 or Maschinenpistole 7 is a personal defense weapon designed by the German defense manufacturer Heckler & Koch. It's a compact PDW class firearm with a greater ability to defeat body armor than the current submachine guns using conventional pistol cartridges. On the right hand side, in the red corner, we have the M4A1. It's a fully automatic variant of the basic M4 carbine, intended for special operations use. The M4A1 is used by almost all US special operations units, including, but not limited to, the Marine Forces Recon, the Army Rangers, Army Special Forces, Navy SEALs, United States Air Force Pararescue and Air Force Combat Control teams. Let's start with the basic weapon stats of the MP7 and then later we will bring in the stats of the M4. We will focus on the worst case scenario, because in Warzone you are more likely to run into somebody who has 250 health points, aka 3 armor plates. This is the person you want to be able to kill as fast as possible. If they have less armor, then hey, good for you. But do note that some of these statistics change when they only have 2 armor plates, and in rare cases, the weaker gun could be better and kill faster. The problem is that you don't know how well equipped your enemy is, so that's why we will only focus on the most likely scenario. The MP7 has a standard magazine size of 40 bullets. It takes 0.176 seconds to ADS, and it has an incredible rate of fire of 950 rounds per minute. Up to 12.5 meters, a headshot will cause 40 damage points. A chest and stomach shot will cost 25 damage points, and a shot to the arms or legs will cost 22 damage points. All of this means that you will need a time to kill of 0.379 if you can only go for headshots. If you only aim at his chest or stomach, then it will take you 0.568 seconds before he goes down. And if you think it's a good idea to shoot at his arms or legs, then it's going to take you 0.695 seconds. It will only take you 2.21 seconds to reload your MP7, but do know that you can improve that number by using sleight of hand. In that case, it will only take you 1.742 seconds, so slightly faster. If we combine everything, then you will see that the MP7 has a DPS rating of 640 for headshots, 400 for both chest and stomach shots, and 352 for arms and leg shots. One very important aspect that a lot of other videos just skip completely, and I really don't know why, is the damage drop-off. For the MP7, the first damage drop-off point already occurs at 12.5 meters, which makes sense because it's still an SMG, but this changes everything. Because let's face it, most of the time you will be shooting at enemies who are further away than 12.5 meters, right? Let's only consider chest and stomach shots when we check out the damage drop-off point. So, within 12.5 meters, you will need 0.568 seconds to kill. Beyond 12.5 meters, you will need 0.758 seconds. A difference of almost 0.2 seconds. To make matters worse, the second drop-off point already occurs at 17.5 meters, and now you will need a time to kill of 0.821. It shouldn't surprise you that the next drop-off point already occurs at 22.5 meters, and now you're going to need 0.947 seconds, a big difference compared to our initial time to kill of 0.568. Let's take a look at our M4A1. It has a standard magazine size of 30 bullets, but we all know that this can be improved. It takes 0.216 seconds to ADS, and it has a rate of fire of 800 rounds per minute. Up to 30 meters, a headshot will cause 42 damage points, and a chest, stomach or limb shot will cause 28 damage points. All of this means that you will need a time to kill of 0.375 seconds if you can only go for headshots. If you only aim for the rest of his body, then it will take you 0.6 seconds until he goes down. It will take you 2.364 seconds to reload your M4. But as you know, you can still improve that number to 1.710 seconds with sleight of hand. If you combine everything, then you will see that the M4 has a DPS rating of 588 for headshots and 392 for other shots. The first damage drop-off point occurs at 30 meters, which is great because it's an AR, and this is also a reference point, or the average engagement distance in Call of Duty. There are times when you're indoors, times when you're running around outside, and times when you're shooting down from rooftops, which all have different engagement distances. That is why 30 meters is the average engagement distance. I will only consider chest and stomach shots when we check out these damage drop-off points. So within 30 meters, you will only need 0.6 seconds to kill. Beyond 30 meters, you will need 0.825 seconds, a difference of 0.225 seconds. The second drop-off point only occurs at 50 meters, and now you will need a time to kill of 0.975. You could use the 9mm rounds, which sort of turns the M4 into an SMG, but those just make all of the stats worse, except if you stay within 15 meters. In that case, you get a better time to kill of 0.551 seconds versus 0.6, which is nice, but when you look at everything beyond 15 meters, then all the stats get worse. So it doesn't really make sense to do that, but wait a minute. I'm sure that some of you have noticed that you now have a better SMG than the MP7. Who would have expected that? Instead of 0.568 seconds, we now have a time to kill of 0.551 seconds. Wow! Who would have guessed that this was even possible? If you then look at, let's say, 17.5 meters, then the M4 is still better, with 0.735 versus 0.758 seconds. You want me to continue? I'm sure you do, because now it's getting very interesting. Beyond this range, the M4 needs 0.79 seconds to kill up to 27.5 meters. The MP7 needs 0.821 seconds, which means again that the M4 is better. To make matters worse, remember the M7's drop-off at 22.5 meters? Beyond that point, you will need 0.974 seconds to kill. We now have an advantage of 0.15 seconds. Not bad, eh? So what else can we do? Oh, the .458 SOCOM max. I will keep this part short, because let's face it, you won't be able to kill an entire enemy team in Warzone with only 10 bullets. But for the guys who love to play solos, this can make a whole lot of sense for them. 10 bullets, 600 rounds per minute. A headshot is 72, the rest is 48. ADS and reload don't change, but the time to kill does. 0.3 instead of 0.375 for headshots, 0.5 instead of 0.6 for the rest. The drop-off only starts at 35 meters, and it will then take you 0.6 seconds to kill instead of 0.825 or 0.975 beyond 50 meters. So if you play solos, then go for it, but you better make sure that you don't miss. It is definitely a skill-based choice, but if you have the skill, then you will be the deadliest player out there. You know the basics, you know the stats, and you know all the possibilities. Let's do a direct comparison between the MP7 and the M4A1. All the stats that you will see in green are better, all the stats in red are worse. I will cover the important ones, but feel free to screenshot this if you want to have a reference guide. I'm sure that you knew that the MP7 was better in close range firefights. It's an SMG after all, so there are no surprises here. But up to 12.5 meters, which is not a lot, this is what it looks like by the way, so pretty much the entire upper floor of a normal sized house. So indoors, the MP7 is king. Except if you create a 9mm loadout for the M4, then you will beat the M7 at any range. This was the biggest surprise for me, and I've been running around with the MP7 for weeks. So we have that out of the way. You can make your M4 better than the MP7, but there is a catch. The magazine size. If you go for a 9mm setup, then you will get 32 bullets. If you go for the MP7, then you can have 60 bullets. The question is, does it matter? You could kill an entire enemy team within 15 meters with only one 9mm magazine by shooting them in the chest or stomach. But then again, within 15 meters, at least one of them is going to shoot back. So will you have the time to do so? Probably not. Beyond 15 meters, you cannot kill their entire enemy team with only one magazine. This is all theoretical, in practice things are slightly different. I play a lot of solo versus team games because I just like the challenge, and in more than 95% of the cases I will reload my MP7 after the second kill, because I don't want to be fighting the last guy with whatever I have left in my 60 bullet magazine. You could do the same with your 9mm M4, because you can kill two guys with 32 bullets, then reload and finish off the last guy. Same but different. The only thing to watch out for is that the larger magazine size is more forgiving, if you miss or shoot extra bullets before you realize that the guy is down. In this scenario, where you kill two guys, reload and then kill again, the time to kill of the 9mm M4 is better. But now we have to include the reload time, and the slightly better time to kill of the M4 is not going to be able to compensate for the 0.154 seconds faster reload time of the MP7. Unless you use sleight of hand. In that case, the MP4 reloads in 1.710 seconds and the MP7 in 1.742, meaning that the M4 now benefits from a faster time to kill and a faster reload time, but it's still less forgiving because of the magazine size. One could argue that the MP7 still allows you to ADS faster, because there are guys out there who first ADS and then shoot. Fair enough, you're absolutely right. So for them, the faster they can ADS, the faster they can kill. So let's check that out and see which weapon could benefit them the most. With the MP7, you can ADS in 0.176 seconds versus 0.216 seconds, a difference of 0.04. We can already counter that with the reload time, which is 0.032 seconds faster with sleight of hand, which leaves us only 0.008 seconds left to deal with. Now I know that this goes far, because we're talking about 0.008 seconds. But this video goes to a much greater depth than most other videos, and that's why I came here, right? To finally figure out if the MP7 or the M4 is better. And I'm sure that you can appreciate all the effort that went into this video. The time to kill of the MP7 within 12.5 meters is 0.017 seconds slower than the M4, so that easily counters the 0.008 seconds, and it goes even beyond that. So even for them, the faster ADS time does not matter overall. So the question is not anymore, is the MP7 better than the M4A1? It now becomes, is the 9mm M4 better than the standard M4? The answer is very simple. Yes, within 15 meters, but not beyond that. There are a few things to consider since you now know all of this. Remember, I can only show you the facts on paper, and I can share a lot of information from my own personal preference. I don't know which kind of player you are, and I don't know your needs. You have to figure out which weapon suits you the most. Base your decision on the stats which you saw in this video, because now you finally know what these weapons can do, but more importantly, base it on your skills. If you require a lot of bullets, then go for that. And be honest with yourself, because a larger magazine size can benefit certain players more than a faster time to kill. Definitely make sure that you subscribe to Fog of Gaming, because I'm already working on the next weapons guide. That way you can be sure that you will be one of the very first ones to get access to that video. In the meantime, happy hunting in Warzone.